I've talked about why men watch porn on this channel a couple of times before, but someone left a very good reason why men watch porn in a comment recently. And I really wanted to talk about it because it's a whole subject that I think isn't really given that much attention. It's much broader than just another reason why men watch porn. It's connected, but there's a broader, much broader, more important topic connected to it. And it's how sex and relationships have really become, for a man, very much about the man proving his worth to her. Right? It's all about him making himself feel like he is a good person, a good man, a good boyfriend, a good husband through her. And her approval is the direct validation of that. If she's not happy or satisfied, then that's a direct indication that he is, not living up to some sort of standard. And that means he's low value, not a good boyfriend, not a good man. And when it comes to sex, I mean, for a long, long time, we're told that for ages, women were not being pleased in bed. And whether this is true or not isn't really the point. Because for all those who are affected by what I'm talking about weren't around when that was the case. All we know is what we've been told about the past, what we've been raised being told is that a good man, pleases his wife or his girlfriend in bed. He's gives her multiple orgasms and does this and does that. And if he doesn't do those things, that's not just a shit boyfriend or lazy. It's there's something kind of uncomfortably, almost borderline rapey about it. Like if she's not enjoying herself, then that's you're writing a bad line there. And that's basically what the guy said in this comment, is effectively that's how he feels. And I definitely can relate to that. I didn't feel that way personally. I've never felt that way personally in terms of like getting close to rapey territory. But I think the core of it is that we've been taught that it's you're either pleasing her and she is happy, or you're just using her and throwing her aside without, any kind of care for her whatsoever. You're just using her up and throwing her aside like a cum towel. And that being the either or, she is either totally satisfied or you're scum. That's basically the dichotomy that we've been raised with. And it's funny because we've never really been, at least I can't think of an explicit moment in my life where that's been told to me of like, now it's an either or, Eric. But through a million moments of sex and relationships and judgments here and there about men or people or whatever, this idea has been conveyed to us just throughout our lives. And I've definitely felt that way myself, especially growing up, when I was younger, in my 20s, like in my first relationship. It was the mindset that we get into because of this, right? Is it becomes like a job. Sex becomes like a job. It's not about your enjoyment. It's not about fun. It's not about connection. It's about making sure that she's leaving the bed satisfied. Because if she's not, then you've failed. And that's a mark against you as a person, as a boyfriend. You failed. You're not a good person. And yeah, God forbid you just relax and have fun, because then, well, you're just a shit person. You're not even thinking about her pleasure. You're having fun. So usually from what I understand, talking to a lot of guys about this, usually how it goes is sex will start. You'll go through all the things that she wants for 90% of the time, and at the very end, you can sort of relax and enjoy yourself a little bit. And it is very exhausting. I think that's a really good way. That's how he put it, the guy who left the comment, and I would definitely agree with that. It's exhausting. And I think you can say that about the whole of dating now. Because it's not just during sex that this is the attitude. It's through the whole of dating is like this. The whole mindset that men have been put into is this mindset of you have to be pleasing her all the time. If she is in a moment of displeasure, then that's on you and you're a failure. Her pleasure, her approval of you is a direct gauge of your worth. Not just in sex, but in, totality of your relationship. If you take her on a date and she's not satisfied with it, it's not even a question of whether or not you did a good job with the date and it's a problem with her. No, it's a problem with you. You failed. And this is what has left men feeling exhausted with dating. I've heard a lot of guys put it that way. Exhausted. We're just tired of that. And I think it's because the fun and pleasure and the simple ability to just act on your own desire has been taken away from us. We can't feel like we can freely operate on I want anymore. We can't just say, I want some sex with my girlfriend and just go do that. It's got to be this job of I want some sex, but I've got to perform adequately for her first, or make sure that I'm doing all the duties that I need to fulfill in order for it to be good up to some standard. And see, the funny thing is this standard that we've been told, this idea of what we have to achieve in our own head, it usually doesn't really have anything to do with her. It's something that the whole world has put on us, has drilled into us. Now, how this ties into porn is, this is what this guy said in this comment, and it makes a lot of sense, is that when sex isn't about you, when you're afraid to make it about you, uncomfortable to make it about you, even when your own girlfriend says, just relax, I'll please you tonight, and it's about you or whatever, it can be uncomfortable. Even when she is saying, tonight's all about you, babe, lie back, whatever you want. Yeah, even then, it's uncomfortable because it's been drilled into us that that's not okay, that that's wrong of us. And because of that, even though we will be getting sex in our relationships, we'll find ourselves going to porn. And this guy in this comment says, his girlfriend just couldn't understand, which is understandable. like she couldn't understand why he was going to porn, even though they were having regular sex. But when you see it like this, that sex isn't about you. It's not a moment where you can just relax and enjoy it. Then porn starts to be very tantalizing. Starts to be very, you can actually relax and enjoy it. It is all about you. So, the funny thing is, this isn't just men's issue. I mean, the more you zoom out from all this kind of stuff, the more you can see how we're all in the exact same boat. Men and women are in the same boat. It might be a big boat, and we're looking at things from a very different, distant perspective, but at the end of the day, it is still the same problem, because women will go through the exact same thing too. I've heard from loads of women that they feel like they can't just relax and enjoy themselves in bed, that they have to perform in some way, and that usually has fuck all to do with the guy that they're with. It has to do with some externally given bullshit. I was with now granted, this was with my very abusive, horrible girlfriend. But to spare you the details, we were doing sex stuff, and she was doing a thing that I didn't ask her to do, that she didn't say, hey, how about I do this thing that could be interesting or anything like that. She just started doing it. And it looked like it wasn't pleasant for her. Like, it was very clearly not fun or pleasant for her. And I was not giving any indication that it was fun or pleasant for me either, because it's not like it was unpleasant. It just wasn't I wasn't super into it. But she kept trying while not enjoying it. And so eventually I just sort of stopped and asked her, like, what are you doing? And what she said was, I feel like if I can't do this, then I'm a bitch. And then she went back to keep doing it. And I think that really, it stuck with me, because it really captures kind of the mindset of this, of like, it's not about me. It's not about what I want. It's not about me enjoying it. It's not about her. It's not about her doing what she wants to do or her enjoying it. There's some external pressure that we have accepted upon ourselves of, you've got to do this action, or you've got to give her, a billion orgasms, and you got to do this, you got to do that. Not for you and not for her, not for the actual experience, but for some kind of external, not even validation, because who's going to know? It's not like you go and tell people about it and, hey, I did this thing. It's for your own sense of feeling worth something. That's really what it comes down to. It's your own self-esteem needing this sense of, I've achieved this thing that has nothing to do with what I want or what the other person wants. But it's about filling some need within you. God, so much of what's going on in the world today works like that in our head. It gets in your head through guilt, and it makes you feel like you need to do something in order to get rid of that sense of guilt. And that's what men are doing in bed, of constantly feeling like they need to please the girl. Got to do this, got to do that, and she wants this, she wants that. It's not about me. It can never be about me, because I got to please her. And we feel guilty if it's about us. And women are in that same boat too. I'm sure of it. And if you are one of the 3 women watching this, please leave a comment down below and either confirm or deny what I'm saying. But I very much bet that women are also in a very similar situation of feeling like they need to perform in some way in order to feel like they're worth something. We definitely see it with feminism. But even when a woman is trying to engage in a healthy way with a man in their life, I'm sure that's still going on in their head. So the answer to this, right? So the problem really is that we don't feel like we are allowed to say, I want, with righteousness. That it's, I want this and it's good. And fuck you if you're going to tell me I can't have it. We can't say that without feeling guilty or uncomfortable. Because what immediately comes to our mind is that we're going to hurt people in order to get it. Right? If you think of it in the scenario I've talked about, either I'm pleasing her or I'm using her up and throwing her aside. I don't even care about her at all. It's one or the other. Either I'm being neglected, I'm neglecting myself, or I'm neglecting her. It's one or the other. You can't both just have fun and enjoy yourselves and maybe please her because you want to and like her and please yourself and her please you. And it can't be that you're both just simply doing what you want and enjoying it. It's either one or the other. One is being screwed at the expense of the other. And that is the lie we've all bought into. And the cure is to be able to say to yourself, it's okay for me to want, without apology. That goes right down to the core of self-esteem. If we're going to bring up good old Nathaniel Branden and his whole thing on self-esteem, self-assertion is one of the 6 pillars of self-esteem, as he puts it. And for him, how he talks about what self-assertion is the ability to say, I have the right to exist. Not demanding that people accept this. You're not trying to prove it. You're just simply able to say it for your own sake, as a statement of fact. I have the right to exist. I have the right to want what I want, to feel what I feel. Not at the expense of others, but simply to exist. And that's really what the core of what the attack, particularly on young men, has been. It's been to get at the very core of men's self-esteem, at that part of themselves that is capable of saying, I have the right to exist. That part of them has been under attack by almost every part of the modern world, our whole lives, for the past 30 years. And it's because of that men are so fucked up. We feel like we don't have the right to exist for our own sake. We feel like we have to prove it. Or if there's a part of ourselves that feels like we don't have to prove it, that we shouldn't have to, we don't really know what to do about it, so we end up just hiding. Yeah, sex used to be fun. I mean, it still is, but we've forgotten how to enjoy it. Sex becomes, or I should say, sex stops being a chore when you're able to say, I want you, without shame, without having to excuse it, or justify it, or apologize for it. Yeah, God, there's so many. There's a post someone made. I don't know if it's even real or not. You know, it's a Reddit post, and anybody could have made it, but it really is absolutely fantastically on point. It's this woman who is apparently married, or was married, who talks about how my husband is always sexualizing me, and I told him how gross it was, and I'd asked him to stop. But then, he fell out of love with me and doesn't want to be married with me anymore. And, I can't understand why. What? It's such a good example of how the whole world, all these ideas that we've been taught, are just engineered to make us feel like we can't just enjoy ourselves. Like, even me, being aware of all this stuff, in my past relationship, I would have a hard time. It took me a long time to be able to just express what I wanted. Not even just in the bedroom, but just in generally, to just say what I wanted without some sort of justification or, don't worry, I'll be sure and do something for you later. Just being able to say, this is what I want. Not as a demand, because that's what usually comes to our mind, is that if you're saying what you want, then people will hear it as a demand. But it's not. Just saying, like, I want to have sex with you. I want you to do this. I want you to wear this tonight. Just being able to say that. It's not a demand. It's just a desire you have, and that's okay. That's something that I've worked on in myself, of allowing myself to be able to express those desires without justification or apology. And I highly advise you to do the same, to be able to express yourself without apology, without justification. You will feel uncomfortable. You will feel uncomfortable. You will feel terrified of how you might come across, especially if you're talking to your girlfriend or your wife or whatever. But even if you're talking to a friend of yours, I'll still get uncomfortable telling a friend of mine, I don't know, anything about emotional vulnerability or what I would need from him from the relationship. If I need him to be, I don't know, more supportive in some way or something like that. But just simply saying, I really want you to be more supportive in this way, it's uncomfortable. Because of what I talked about. We feel like we're making demands. That's what we've been taught. That it's not okay to just want, to have desires and feelings. But I really, really encourage you to keep this in mind for yourself. One of the most important pillars of self-esteem, of your ability to have a healthy core sense of self, is the ability to say, I have the right to exist. And that's been taken away from us. And what to explain that a little more is what it means to exist is to want. Like, to exist as a living being means to have desires, to want things. Desire is the lifeblood of life. It's what makes life what it is, makes life life. Sorry if that's a bit weirdly vague, but I'm trying to condense a pretty heavy philosophic statement the best I can. Let me try and put it more clearly. Every living thing has requirements that it needs to fulfill to be alive. From a flower to a human being. We all have requirements to be alive. To take in air, to take in air into our lungs, as well as to very complex needs to sustain ourselves, like connection and love. What makes human life so phenomenal is not just that we aren't like a plant. We don't just operate without thought, spreading our roots to get water and nutrients. We choose to move toward the things that we want consciously, or unconsciously, but that's what makes life so phenomenally amazing, is that we can choose what it is that we want. But it's still at the core, it's still the same thing. We're like every other living being out there. And what makes life life is the wanting. The passion. No. It's a bit late, so forgive me if that's not totally clear, but that magic has been stolen from us. We've been made to feel guilty for wanting, and that flies in the very face of what life is all about. That's what makes it so criminal. I mean, it really is a crime against nature. It flies in the very face of what what it means to be alive. Not even human. Like, just life in general. It's so backwards. But anyway. I hope this video has been pretty interesting to you. It's an interesting topic. But if you genuinely try to make yourself more comfortable being explicitly open and just able to say what it is that you desire, what is it you want, what is it you think, what you feel, without excusing it, without justifying it, without apologizing for it. You know, being able to look your girlfriend in the eye and tell her, like, exactly what you want to do to her and when or whatever, without having to feel like you need to, I don't know, make up for it in some way, to apologize for it. You are going to feel fucking awesome. That's what real confidence is. Being able to stand by what it is that you truly think and feel without apology. Well, if you haven't already, you could check out that porn video I did in the past. Video where I talked about porn. I'll link it here on the thing. I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.